Hi, boys and girls. So you should have just completed your due now. And now we are going to summarize the couple pages that we read of our story yesterday. So just to remind you, our story is called The Moon Over Star by Diana Hutz Aston, and it's illustrated by Jerry Pinkney. So I just want to skim through the pages a little bit just so that you can refresh your own memory and try and come up with a summary of what happened yesterday. So I'm just going to click through the pages. So this is our cover. This is our second page. This is where we looked at the 3 astronauts that were on their way to space or to the moon. And this is May and her cousins doing a replication of what the astronauts are doing in the picture before. This is the page on 318 where we looked at the rocket ship that was blasting off into space, and we talked about how the image helped the reader understand what was going on in the story better. And then we ended on this page where May and her cousins and her gramps and her parents were sitting around the TV waiting for the news to see if and how the moon landing went. So I just want to remind you of a quick summary just so that when we continue reading, you can kind of know more or less what is going on already so that we can pick up right where we left off. So this is our main character here, May. And remember that May was telling us a story about the time her and her family watched the first man land on the moon. And yesterday we also stopped and made a prediction. And our prediction was on Gramps and his reaction to the men landing on the moon. And we predicted that. So we asked ourselves, how do we think Gramps will react to the moon landing? And we predicted that I predict that he will not be excited by the moon landing. However, May does add that she knows that Gramps is at least thinking about the astronauts and their moon landing. Perhaps his attitude towards the space program will change. And we got that prediction by looking through our text. And on page 316 at the top of it, May, our narrator, shares with us. She says, my gramps thought the space program was a waste of money, but I knew he was praying for them too. So, based off of what May told us about her gramps, that's where we were able to use that text and create our prediction. So, today we're going to continue reading to see if we can confirm our prediction or if we get some more information about it and we can revise our prediction. And by the end of the story, hopefully, we can figure out what Gramps' reaction was. Before we start reading, I do want to remind you of the genre of our story. So if you can try to remember, we talked about it yesterday. So the genre of our story is a historical fiction. And just to go over the characteristics of that, you should remember them from yesterday. They are that they take place it's an event that takes place in history, in real life history, and the characters are portrayed in a realistic manner. So the event in history that is taking place in the story that we are reading today finishing today, is that this takes place in the past and is based on real events. The real event is the moon landing that took place in 1969. So we're going to get into our reading. So you can go ahead and stop this video and go on to the next one when we start our lesson on the other half of our story.